Number three, AI and machine learning. These sort of go together, and I'd also add like neural networks, et cetera, as part of this. But basically, again, this is really a niche area as well. There isn't a lot of people that know this, or at least a lot of people that are good at it. So with AI, it is more or less an umbrella under which machine learning and deep learning sort of fall under. So when I say AI, it's really more than just AI. It's really a few, subject areas in itself. So AI really, relies on neural networks, and that's what I was sort of talking about. So it's a wide area. It's a real niche area still. The market is expected to grow from 1.5 billion to 8 billion by 2022, which is again a huge growth rate of 44% or so, which still is not like Kubernetes from a demand perspective, but it is, a good area if you're good in it. There isn't a lot of people that are good candidates in this area. And you will see a lot of these roles stay posted forever because there just isn't enough candidates that know this area. Now, the average salary for someone that is an AI professional is around 140 per year. The areas that, again, that come up over and over, and again, you're seeing a pattern here, right? Python and Java, R, and then also C++, interestingly enough. And again, these are just some of the other areas that come up. Now, also too, an area around AI and machine learning is around knowing Apache Spark. So it's not just programming, but it's also knowing how to use basically open source and third-party basically technologies like Apache Spark and TensorFlow as well. Also too, like with Google Cloud, they have a TPU, which is a TensorFlow processing unit. So chances are, if you use TensorFlow, you're going to use it on Google Cloud. That's generally what we would see. So if you want to get into Google Cloud, TensorFlow, AI, you're not going to have a lot of competition. Number two, cloud native. This is a buzzword we hear over and over and over. Cloud native, cloud native, cloud native. What is it? What's it really mean? Well, basically, this is a skill set that is actually really up there with Kubernetes. And sometimes people confuse it as Kubernetes, but it doesn't have to be Kubernetes. It could be, Docker. It could be any other technologies for containers, whatever you want to do, right? It could be Mesos, whatever you feel like. So cloud native is really more of a development term that's going to describe container-based environments and services. It's about developing our applications and services. So what does that sound like? It's about microservices. These technologies are going to be managed on an elastic infrastructure. So what does that mean? That means the cloud. We could scale up, we could scale down. And also as part of this is DevOps, right? It comes into play. We need to know DevOps as part of this. Development and operations. Really, it's an agile, relationship. Just here's some terms that sort of come into play with DevOps and also Kubernetes, but also just development pipelines as well. Continuous integration, delivery, and deployment. One thing, again, that you're going to see over and over, whether you're an architect or a developer or even a cloud engineer, is we absolutely need to know how to deploy a pipeline. Why we want to deploy a pipeline. So this is very important to know for a lot of jobs now. Now, the four axes of DevOps is culture, process, people, and technology. Now, to get into DevOps properly is really another whole session itself, but I just want to highlight why it is becoming so important. Organizations really want to deploy services in a microservices approach that they can be agile, but also secure and also efficient all at the same time. The goal is to have testing processes and also, have manual processes, but remove those manual decisions down the road when we go to, from a delivery to a deployment perspective. It comes down to automation.